stop right there. Did you know that you've been drinking water wrong all this time? Just kidding. But seriously, there is a better way to drink water. My clients and I have been doing this for the past couple of weeks, and the results are amazing. It is absolutely incredible how this one simple change can make such a vast difference for your health. I've decided to do a free challenge based on this one habit. Next Monday, we're starting the Sip and Slim Down Challenge. This is a 2-week challenge to help you learn how to sip water in a way that will help you reset your metabolism, your hormones, and your mindset, release fat, weight, toxins, and stress, and refill every single one of your cells with hydration. Refill your mind with confidence, refill your life with control and consistency, and help you to feel better, mentally, physically, emotionally, and otherwise, in this incredibly simple habit. If you would like to join us, go to challenge.susiebhabits.com to join the free 2-week Sip and Slim Down Challenge. I'm telling you, sip water, slim down. It's going to change the game. Challenge.susiebhabits.com to join for free. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Habits and Humor. I'm Susie B, and I am the host of this show. This show where you come to get simple, easy, quick habit changes that you can implement into your life right now, right here, today, while you're sitting here watching this interview. As we're making these suggestions, I highly recommend that you personalize them to you. Take what you want, take what you hear, and adjust it so that it works for you, and then take action. That is the whole point of this show. You can learn all day long, but unless you actually do something with what you've learned, it's not really valuable to you. So that's what we want for you today. Today, I have brought on a phenomenal guest. This woman has impacted my life in so many ways, and I am so grateful to her. She is brilliant at what she does, and she fits perfectly into the timeline for those of you that are joining from the Habitize Health program to the spot that we're at right now, which is the place of where your habits are starting to change in your brain. And it starts to bring up a level of stress and a little bit of a decreased level of motivation and an increased level of stress. And as we're making that shift, I want you guys to be able to navigate that smoothly so that you can get to the promised land, so that you can get to the part where those habits become automated. And that is the whole point of this process. And that is one of the reasons that I brought on the beautiful, lovely, and talented Cammy Adair. Welcome to the show, Cammy.
Thank you. My emotions are a little high right now, and you're making me tear up.
Well, just wait till I get into the story of how much you mean to me, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, no. Then I'll be a mess, and I didn't get prepared with tissues.
Oh, you guys. All right. So, Cammy, tell us, first of all, just introduce yourself to us, and then I will introduce the group to how I became to know you on the level that I do. So kind of give us a little background on you as a person, and then you as a yoga brilliant genius woman.
Not brilliant genius, but I am a yoga teacher and have kind of came to yoga late. I had a beautiful, wonderful first teacher about 9 years ago who introduced me, and I wished that I would have had yoga in my life early on, raising my 6 children. So I have 6 children, and now I have 7 grands, and they are the best. I just love them. And so I spent my life pretty devoted to the family, very active, got a degree in exercise science a long time ago, and have always been very interested and very engaged in exercise and how it, and just movement and how it influences how you feel and your mental and physical health. And then I found yoga, and then it kind of flipped my life into a new direction, and it's been amazing. And then, so I was able to finish my 200-hour teacher training, and then I think a year or 2 later, I did my 300-hour teacher training. So I'm a RYT500, and then I had an amazing experience to go to California and learn the yoga tune-up method of practice that has really just influenced all of my teaching since then, and then followed it up with the role model method using balls for self-massage. There's these yoga tune-up balls. And that kind of unlocked just a whole new world of teaching and helping people. and influencing my own physical and mental health. And so I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for that. And what else?
I love that journey. I love that you went, doesn't matter when you start, like when, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You're a great example of when you get into something, you just jump in both feet and you learn as you go. And I love I love being able to see the progress of where you started and where you are now. It's so awesome. Such a cool thing to be a part of. So really quick, an introduction to how I know Cammy, you guys. A lot of the guests that I bring onto here are people that I reach out to that just are in a level of expertise and that I don't personally know. I research these people. I kind of vet them a little bit, and then I bring them in and have a conversation with them to see if they're a fit for the show. But Cammy, I personally reached out to her because, let's see. I can't even think of what the timeline would be. How many years ago did we meet, Cammy?
Oh, I don't know. You met Jeff first, my husband Jeff first, and worked with him as his personal trainer.
I think
and then you moved to our road.
Yes.
And we were so happy.
Yes. So Cammy's husband was one of my very first clients and one of my longest running clients. I trained with him for like 7 of 9 years, I think. Yeah. And somewhere around the 9-year mark is how long we worked together. It was so awesome. He's awesome. I love this guy. So, and
which
then
is why you're Cammy. Still in his head every day. Susie words in his head.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll take it.
A good thing.
Oh, he was so fun to work with. And so then obviously I got, he was a close client of mine and we worked together for many years. And then I moved to a new city and I happened to move right down the road from these guys. So then I got to know Cammy on a whole new level. I had met her when I first started training with Jeff, but we didn't really spend any time together. And then we were in the same ward, we were in the same neighborhood, and and then you started training with me as well. And so we worked together in lots of different ways. And then the magic all happened when Cammy started as a yoga teacher in the city where we lived. And so I went to her class. And up to this point, I had a small testimony of yoga. I love the movement aspect of stretching while you're in motion because there's just no more efficient way to stretch your muscles than while you're in motion. And so I was really excited to come to Cammy's yoga class. And she, at the end of each class, you would do a 10-minute meditation. Do you remember this?
Nope. Shavasana.
So at the end of each class, you would do a 10-minute meditation where we would just lay on the floor and dark Shavasana. And listen to, Shavasana. And it was just a quiet time. And during this period of my life, I had 4 little babies and I had no quiet time ever. And so this, for me, 10 minutes of laying still and being quiet, like exploded my brain. I couldn't handle it. For the first time that I did it, I thought I was going to go nuts. Just trying to lay there and be still and think about nothing was so hard for me. And Cammy was just patient with me. And she's like, just come back and keep coming back and keep coming back and keep doing it. So I went to her class once a week with my other friend for, I want to say, just a couple of months. We just did it in the summer. We'd bike to your class and then we would do your yoga class and we'd bike home. And it was just a summer, I think. So probably just a couple of months. And by the end of that summer, I was in love with Shavasana, that period of time where you just lay on the floor and think of nothing. It was absolutely life altering. I loved that 10 minutes. That was my favorite part of the class by the end of the summer. So just a quick couple of months changed this for me, you guys. And you were the person who brought meditation into my life. And I use it every single day ever since. And I absolutely love it.
I didn't realize it was hard, I guess, or I have no memory of it being hard for you. And I didn't realize that was so life-changing because I don't view myself as much of an expert in meditation, but it's a yoga thing to do Shavasana. And so it's important for me for people to be able to really just drop in and release their muscle tension and then see what happens in their mind and just focus on the breath. And so, it can be pretty life-changing. So that's pretty exciting. But I have to add a little story onto that because after I got my teacher training, I hadn't worked, for long time, real job. I was working with kids for years and years. And so Susie saw that our Nibley City rec program was looking for a yoga teacher. And she's like, hey, go apply. And I'm like, I'm so scared. And Susie gave me the confidence, and I don't know, she just has some power to her. And so she gave me that power, and I went for it. And I just have amazing friendships from that first job that I got. Still have, I still teach with that group. Have added on lots of other groups, but I always come back to, I would have never been brave enough if it hadn't been for Susie. So thank you.
Oh, you would so have been brave enough. I maybe just pushed you over the edge a little earlier.
Yeah, you're a good pusher. Good pusher.
I'll take that. Awesome. So I do a little for you, you do a little for me, and we both change our lives. It's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty good.
Awesome. So one thing, so you say that you're not a meditation expert, but you are a self-love, self-massage, yoga, and what I would call stress relief and pain relief expert. So tell us a little bit about some of the unique things that you do to bring down stress and bring down pain so that we can, live our lives the way that we want to live and feel the way we want to feel mentally and physically. Okay.
So when I say I'm not a meditation expert, I think of, when people think of meditation, they think of Om Rafiki on Lion King, right? And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I more love the moving meditation, the rolling meditation, the connecting the mind to the body, which is all meditation. And I love the stillness in Shavasana, but I'm still not there on the sitting on a little meditation pillow and checking out. So I feel a little bit like I can't call myself an expert, but I do feel like I have great tools to connect mind and body, which is, the goal, and to become clear in the mind. And so, so my style of yoga, I would call it more anatomy based, more really sensing what's going on in the body and seeing what messages come up to you through the body, using the body as kind of a vehicle to learn more about what's going on in your mind, your emotions. And so I think with what I've seen with yoga is you can really get in the mode, and you need to be very mindful. When you're doing other kinds of exercises, you can kind of check out and just try to ignore what's happening. Like you're doing 100 squats or something. But yoga, it's an interesting switch up, because you can really kind of dive into sensations and see what comes up. I had an experience with a girl the other day that 3 times she had this kind of an emotional release just by practicing yoga and the self-massage techniques that we were doing in class. And it was just fascinating. I just thought it was so cool. But the thing that I realized with yoga is that it's not just stretching, and you don't have to be flexible. There's all those myths out there. It's very much of a strength building and, flexibility inducing and relaxing practice. So I feel stronger now, I think, than I did in my 30s. Not much of a runner after my foot and ankle surgery, but I feel like there's, just more overall strength on so many different planes of movement that I'm super grateful for, because then I get to ski and I get to climb and I get to hike and play.
I love that.
Play with my kids.
I love that is one of your drives, because that was also one of your husband's drives as well. That was one of the main things, one of the main reasons he wanted to get in better shape, was because he wanted to be able to, as he phrased it, keep up with my kids.
Yeah.
And I love that both of you have done different versions of exercise over the years in order to create a lifestyle that you enjoy. And that is totally your number one motivator. That is a why that, we talk about our whys in here, but why we do things. And that is one that will never go away. That is one that will never be outdone by anything else that can come up in your life. I love that is the driving force.
Very important to me. And my kids are hard to keep up with. I mean, I can't keep up with them because they're animals, but they always invite. They always say, "Mom, come and do this. Mom, come and do this." And so that makes me super happy.
Guys, we could fill a whole podcast, well, many podcast episodes of Cammy's crazy, amazing stories of the things, wild adventures she goes on with her kids.
Yeah,
they do amazing things.
Yeah, we won't even go there. It's
Not
pretty
today.
fun. So do you want me to go ahead and just talk about like some of those terms that, well,
yeah, one of the things that you say is that that moving meditation allows you to dive deep into the sensations you're feeling, which is what you mentioned already. But that for some people, it can provide a gentle release of stuck emotions and stuck tissues. Let's talk about that for just a minute.
Yeah, so interesting. I have this little picture of this person. Fascia. Fascia is located just under the skin and in and around all of our organs, nerves, blood vessels, muscles, and then in between muscles. It's like this one big, huge interconnected web. And it just happens to be a storage unit for emotions and feelings. And so whenever we kind of work that fascia, either through movement, stretching, yoga, massage, it actually, you tap into that and you can actually kind of bring stuff to the surface. And so when you're really being mindful about yoga and self-massage, then you have the space to let those things kind of rise to the surface, because it's kind of difficult. I always like, how do I explain this? So the fascia in our body has 6 times more sensory neurons than muscle tissue. And so we can feel things through this connective tissue of ours. It's a tissue that connects and separates through all of our, everything within our body. It's everywhere, it's ubiquitous. And so because it's like this storage unit, it allows a stress release in layman's terms, I guess. So especially massage can release those feel-good chemicals, dopamine. It can stimulate the release of dopamine and serotonin and like epinephrine to feel good. And so when that happens, it feels pretty good. But it also tamps down cortisol, that stress-inducing hormone. It can actually reduce that, okay? And when you, also another physiological thing that happens, if you've ever heard of the vagus nerve, that it's like, it's a nerve that just travels everywhere. They call it the wandering nerve. And by doing slow mindful movement with yoga and self-massage, it actually, we call it, you want to flip the off switch on. That's kind of hard to understand. So the vagus nerve kind of switches us from this high intensity, stressful nervous system reaction into a more relaxed, like, I'm okay, rest, digest, breathe. It kind of flips that, your off switch, turning you kind of down and off, flips it on. That's kind of a hard way to explain.
No, that's a brilliant visual. I love that.
Yeah. So and by doing like the breath, let's say we're going to talk about the breath, in that it's super involved in yoga and meditation and the self-massage work, because kind of a gateway into meditation is just really focusing on the breath, feeling it in your body, feeling the change between a deep inhale and a deep exhale, just noticing how it's an all over body movement. Like the breath, when you really tune in, it moves your entire body. It doesn't just stay here in the lungs, you know, it has an all over body movement. And then when it comes to yoga, it just helps you focus so much on how you're moving, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what to pursue, how to approach different, I don't know, I don't want to say levels, but versions of different poses and the way you practice. And then, so it's cool because breath is like, it's a bridge between the unconscious and the conscious, because we can breathe unconsciously and not even know we're breathing, or we can breathe very consciously and take a deep breath and exhale. And so it has this power to connect our subconscious to our conscious, which is so incredibly important in all of these practices. So then when it comes to self-massage and you roll into an area with, let's say, well, any kind of massage, you roll into something like that's really tight and really like, oh, get your attention. And if you just simply breathe, those chemicals that relax, chemicals and just the physical pressure on an area will just reduce the anxiety, reduce the stress, and actually melt those tissues. So with self-massage, you have muscles that we want our muscles and our fascia to slide and glide on each other. And when they don't slide and glide, or we get stuck in a bad posture, or we have an injury or something and we get stuck, it creates kind of a scab inside of our tissues. And so that scab becomes tight and full of tension, and it doesn't get the oxygen that it needs. Okay. So when you put pressure on something like a stuck part of your tissue with massage, you can actually kind of melt that scab-like area away, and you can feel it. Like you can feel it just kind of dissolve, because you're starting to activate the fluids within the fascia. Fascia is rich. It's kind of a goopy, sloppy mess, but it gets dehydrated when we get stuck in one position or another, or don't move different areas. And so that fluid kind of gets sticky and dry, but as soon as we start moving, it just starts, that high hyaluronic acid just starts to move and allows things to slide and glide. And then things, trigger point, that's another way you can call that scab, like a trigger point can just melt away. First time I saw that was when I was working as a physical therapy assistant with a therapist 20, this can date me. No, it's probably more like 30. It's probably more like over 30. And nobody was talking myofascial release at that time. Okay, myofascia is just simply muscle and fascia, the combination of muscle and fascia. You can have muscle or you can have fascia without muscle, but you cannot have muscle without fascia. So I would watch her work on people. She did a lot of massage in her practice. And I would watch her place her hands on somebody's, like a tight area in the back. And it would have been fun if she did it on me. But I would just, all of a sudden, the heat of her hands would just kind of melt. And all of a sudden, these tissues would start to move. And it was fascinating. And so that was way back there before anybody was talking about fascia, myofascia. She was kind of ahead of the game, I think. And David on our call right now, sometimes he's a private client of mine and he has a lot of tension and shortness in this area. And sorry, David, if that's okay. And I can actually feel, because at the end of practice, I'll kind of help him kind of release more. And I can just feel that slide and glide, feel that opening, that release, not a stretch and pressure or anything, just a really gentle whoosh. And so I just threw a lot at you. Oh, sorry, I didn't make things very clear.
That was great. I love the combination, how I think you're so efficient on how you do it all together. Lots of us think, oh, I have to have an exercise practice. I have to also have a meditation practice. I also need to do self-massage, and I also need to do yoga. Oh, and I need to take a deep breath. But you do it all at the same dang time. So tell us, I know a lot of us don't know about self-massage. So maybe, I don't know if you want to give a demonstration or if you want to just explain it to us or whatever, but kind of what can we do to just put it all together in one? A lot of us don't have a lot of time. So I know that you actually have a program. We'll share this with you guys at the end.
Oh my gosh, we're out of time, aren't we? I mean,
no, it's okay. We're doing just fine. You're doing fine. We have a whole hour.
Okay.
So if you, there's at the end of this, we'll share with you guys her free challenge, which is just 3 minutes a day, right? Isn't it 3 to 5 minutes?
It's a 5-minute video, and the massage is 3 minutes. And then there's a check-in, and then a little mini massage, and then a recheck to see if you're kind of on the right track.
It's awesome.
So I use these yoga tune-up balls. They're just phenomenal because they're made for massage. Some people will say, oh yeah, go use a lacrosse ball, which is like, just causes muscle bracing. Your muscles can't relax under a hard object. So these were designed to mimic like the texture of your own tissues. So there's give, but there's a lot of firmness that also is very important, because when you put your pressure, like when you stand on one to give yourself a foot massage, it'll just cave in on you. But you can, like if you were to do the challenge and you didn't have these yet, you can get them online. I sell them also, but you can also just put, like, I have some racket balls right here in a sock, or tennis balls or whatever, and you can get the same feeling. It's just, these are actually just made for massage. So if I were to, let's say, have some neck pain, look, my mat is right there, ready to go. So let's say I have lots of upper neck and back tension. Can you see that?
Yep, we can see you. You're good to go, madam.
Okay. So let's say I'm going to just put these balls kind of right in that, right where you want somebody to grab and give you a massage. And just lay down on there. You can do these things at the wall or the floor. And then, oh, it is kind of hard to see. Anyway, you get the idea. And I usually will put a block under there. And then just breathe until you kind of notice things kind of mellowing out. And then there's different techniques that we use. We won't get into that. That'd take an hour. Anyway, there's different techniques that you can use with moving or stillness, or contracting your muscles and relaxing. Anyway, then the magic part, after you spend a few minutes, the magic part is taking the balls away and just noticing how things have changed. And they can change like in a hurry. So my favorite way to teach, I don't get to do this in all my classes, but my favorite way to teach is to combine, like you're saying, Susie, combine like a centering meditation, breath work, getting yourself right there in the room, in your body, and then working with yoga and self-massage, and just kind of intertwining them all. And it's like so fun. The challenge that you're talking about is just a little like the checks and rechecks. Maybe you could call them like a stretch or a little yoga move, but mostly it's just an introduction to massage. And then I just created an online course that goes over 8 weeks, that goes through each different part of the body. And like there's 2 short self-massage videos that are pretty efficient. And then there's a yoga video. And so people can combine, mix and match, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's my favorite way to teach, I think, because I don't know, it's just fun. Like my big why is when people say, oh my gosh, my knees haven't hurt since class last week. I got that this morning. In fact, somebody said that. Or I can't believe how I can just unwind a knot in my back. I take my, one girl takes her alpha ball. That's this one. Takes her alpha ball to bed and just lays on it until the mattress kind of absorbs some of the pressure, and then she'll just fall asleep and wake up and the knot's gone. You know, there's so many ways, and because they're different sizes, you can get into every little piece and part of your anatomy. And then there's this bigger air-filled one that's squishy and squishy that is masterful at turning that off switch on. It's really, really effective in do different. That's a really good one for the vagus nerve. Oh, I can't do that. I'll get too relaxed. Anyway, I just kind of like, oh.
I love you, Cammy. So if you guys will notice, just even the one that she just did on the floor there, did one exercise, one movement, one pose, one position.
Yeah.
And while you were there, you were able to release the tension on your back. You were able to strengthen the muscles on your back because you were up in an exercise position where your muscles are tight and active. But at the same time, you were also taking deep breaths. And it took you what, 20, 30 seconds? That was magic.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't take very long at all. It's really interesting. Oh, what did you just say that I was going to, oh, I lost it. The first thing that you just said right then.
You were super efficient. You were,
Super
I don't
efficient.
know.
Okay. Trace my brain.
It'll come back.
Anyway, I do love the efficiency of it. I do. And, you know, and my cute daughter, Allie, she's a little bit OCD about them. Not OCD. She just loves them. And so she'll take an alpha anywhere she goes. I have pictures of her at the rock climbing wall, snuggling up to the rock and working out something in her shoulders after a climb, or being in the airport, swishing her butt on the airport wall, getting ready for the plane ride, or sticking, you know, in a plane ride, sticking something, like Lorna was just telling me, she's on the call. She's like, you need to do a video about plane rides and trying to get rid of tension and knots and different owies on a plane.
I'm totally on board with that. The last airport I was actually in, there was a yoga studio in the airport. And I was like, why is this not a thing? It was closed and there was nobody teaching the class, which I was sad about. But I was like, all right, this needs to be a thing in every single airport 24/7.
Where was it? See, and you can take it on the plane. Like nobody's going to know that you have two balls stuck behind your low back and you're just kind of working
Brilliant.
with them. But
my husband has a shoulder injury that he's just dealt with for years and years. And so he's just started working out, lifting heavier than he has before. And every day after he would do certain exercises, he would be really sore and that injury would come right back. And so every day before he does his workouts, he rolls a ball on it. And then every day after them, he rolls a ball on it. And then he does a couple of exercises that I have him do, but every day. Every single time. He's just like, it feels so much better. It feels so much better.
Oh, I love to hear those kind of stories. Yeah. I hear so many people saying, oh yeah, I was able to, you know, to fix my shoulder. My husband, he wants to climb really hard, but he kept getting shut down until he started to roll, you know, or, you know, I hear a lot of stuff like that. And it makes me so happy. So anyway,
awesome.
So I'm kind of feel like a little bit of a missionary.
Say that again.
Kind of feel like a little bit of a missionary.
Spread the message.
Spread the yoga self-massage message. Because it doesn't have to be weird and om and chanty. I mean, that's not my style. I have respect for those that know how to do that. That's just not my style. I'm more into the nitty-gritty of what's happening on the physiological and emotional levels. So
you speak my yoga language very fluently. I love it. I love it so much. I love everything about the way you teach, and I'm just grateful to have you on here. tell us really quickly about where we can find, obviously I'll put it in the show notes. You'll have the free week challenge and then also her 8-week yoga massage and all of the good things course. What is that course called? What's your 8-week course
called? It's called Yoga plus Self-Massage. Okay, 8-week online class series, or whatever parts you want to talk about on that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'll put both of those in the show notes. And then if you guys want to reach out to Cammy, if you guys have further questions after this, Cammy, what's kind of some contact information for you that they can reach out to you?
So my website is just simply yogawithcammy.com. So when you start writing yoga with, you'll get Adrian. But just change it out for CAMMY. I love Adrian. She's the best. Yogawithcammy.com is my website. My Insta, I'm still struggling to get figure that out, is at Yoga with Cammy. And then I have a few YouTube videos that are Just Breathe Yoga with Cammy. I had to put the Just Breathe on there because there was another Yoga with Cammy on YouTube that wore a thong and always faced her butt to the camera. So that's not me.
This is so funny. Cammy, I love everything about you. All right, you guys, if you have further questions, you can certainly reach out to her. Those of you that are live watching on TV or on other platforms, we are going to say sayonara to you. Those of you that are on the call, stay here. We're going to open up the room for questions right here in just a few seconds. So if you're on the call, stay here with us. Go ahead and start typing your questions in the chat. If you're live on other platforms, we will catch you next time. If you want to join these calls live and you want to get your questions answered, send me a message at Susie B Habits on any platform. We'll get you in here with us. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll catch you next time. Those of you that are still here, stay here. Thanks for joining us this week on the Habits and Humor podcast, where you come to learn about health and habits and then take action. If you're ready to take action and turn simple habits into massive results that last a lifetime, or you'd like to join our free live call with incredible guests every Tuesday, message me at Susie B Habits. That's SUZIB Habits on your favorite social media platform, and we'll get you in here. Or you can join our free Habits and Humor Facebook group for additional free resources. I'm Susie B, and this is Habits and Humor. Come to laugh, stay to learn, choose to live.